I don't have a harmonica. So if I had a harmonica, I'd have to learn how to do the intro of Piano Man that doesn't have the yeah. All right. Well, like I said, I just got this notification immediately, and uh, let's see. Did someone say first? Damn it! Someone beat me to it. All right. So, yeah, I clicked faster, and I probably could have. And I just woke up. Oh, jeez. All right. Hopefully, this is the only video I plan on recording. And since it's Chris Stuckman, I know. Yeah, like I said, should I be reacting to some of his new stuff? No, I don't know, but it's Chris Stuckman. He's practically the only critic I trust on YouTube. I know that I've said that about certain critics, but it's like Chris Stuckman was truly the only critic. I guess because he was like the first YouTube, one of the. I don't know how to explain it, but you know, I love Chris Stuckman. And so he's got another thing here. It's probably called the making of his first feature. If I'm not mistaken, was that the one where he did the 1 million after the 1 million subscribers that he said he would do as a hilariosity? I might have to do that. I don't know. Pretty sure Chris would not want me to do that. Probably he's moved on from that stuff. Point is, yeah. All right, let's watch. Oh yeah, the filmmaking journey. Been a while since I've seen these.
Whenever I've talked about the amateur films I made in the past as a kid, I often reference my Indiana Jones movies. I did a video on the no budget feature I made called The Woods, and I enjoy talking about how corny they were and talking about that developmental period in my filmmaking life when I was trying to learn and teach myself things and make movies with people I knew and somehow did it. I don't really know how. It was just a relentless drive to see some images that were in my brain translated to movies. But I've also referenced my actual first amateur feature called Phenomenon Field, which I made when I was 15 years old in 2000.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I was confused for a second. I don't think I've seen. Okay, hold on. Okay, yeah, I haven't seen Chris because Chris has mentioned that he has done certain films that I think he was still mostly friends with the people or stuff where just like they just don't want to be acknowledged. Oh, by the way, Chris, I still love the new background. It's awesome.
2003. The film ended up being about 70 minutes long, and the reason I've never talked that much about it was because
I'm pretty sure the reason he never talked about it was because these were some of his former friends in the weren't some of his friends in the Jehovah's Witness community? Because I do know about that. Chris was raised Jehovah's Witness, and then eventually he disowned. He left. Um, yeah. Honestly, I've seen someone say that evangelicals are always trying to get you into things. At least I'll say from my experience, at least evangelists are not Jehovah's Witnesses, because as an evangelist, if I see a Jehovah's Witness, they come at my door saying, "Hello, I'm a Jehovah's Witness spreading the good word of Jesus Christ." I'll say, "I'm already an evangelist. Knock on the neighbor's door." Slam the door. I remember that scene of SpongeBob meme. It was the one episode where I think SpongeBob and Patrick are selling chocolate, and it was an accurate description of Jehovah's Witnesses. Knock on the door, open, and the guy opens the door. Patrick is like, "I love you." Guy angrily just slams the door. It's so accurate. Man, SpongeBob predicted. Also, the Catholic SpongeBob one. There's one where it was like, "How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? I love the young." And it's like, oh. Yeah. Oh shit! I gotta do something very quick here. I can, like I keep saying, I will never catch a break. Sorry about that. It's because my aunt was showing up. She had to give some things. My mom actually left to do some chores, some errands. errands. Yeah, talking about this, I'm pretty sure, Chris will probably reveal the reason why here, but I will say it again. I mentioned it before. I probably, even though I was born in a religious household, I am a devout evangelist myself. But I've had more access to the internet now that I think. Although here's what's funny: my first R-rated movie was American Pie. I thought, I'll give. As a kid, I thought, this will be good to give to my brother. And I decided to watch them. And so yeah, I certainly have nostalgia towards the American Pie films because they were like the first three. They were like my first R-rated films. So it says a lot about me. Yeah. Which one of Tell me what your first R-rated movie was. I bet it wasn't American Pie, but for me it was American Pie. It was also where I saw. Was it where I really saw my first glimpse of? I know for kids in the '90s it was Titanic with Kate Winslet. For me it was. I hope I don't sound sexist saying this, but for me it was the scene in the bedroom with Shannon Elizabeth. That has done things to me over the years. Oh man, all I know is that scene. That being said, that scene you could not pass that today. You know, yeah,
because most of the people in it were former Jehovah's Witnesses or
yeah. I knew it. I knew it.
are still Jehovah's Witnesses even to this day, and many of them don't want their images shown on the internet. And so, to be respectful of them, I will obviously go with their wishes, and I'm not going to do that. But that's also one of the reasons why I never talked about the movie, because I figured it would be too hard to do. But I'll cut around it, it's fine, we'll figure it out. This movie was incredibly inspired by Field of Dreams, which to this day is one of my all time favorite movies. I think Field of Dreams is a gorgeous movie with one of the best scores of all time by the late James Horner. It's a beautiful score that gives me goosebumps and tingles every time I listen to it. It was a score that was mostly electronic, but then at the end of the movie had this grand orchestra introduced, which created this amazing, swelling, emotional feeling that most scores just don't accomplish. And part of it is because it starts very small but builds to this grand orchestral finale, which really heightened the experience. But Field of Dreams, of course, is about a farmer played by Kevin Costner who gets a vision that if he builds a baseball field in the middle of his corn crops, the great shoeless Joe Jackson will be resurrected as a ghost and will be able to play baseball again. Of course, everyone thinks he's crazy until the right people see shoeless Joe Jackson on that field. But not everybody can see him. And so it's a movie about faith, it's a movie about throwing away your ambitions and diving into something creatively, even though a lot of people are telling you you're insane for doing so. So it's a film that a lot of artists relate to, but it's just a great movie in its
Yeah.
own right. I love the film, and so naturally, as a young kid getting into filmmaking, the very first movie like feature that I ever tried to make that I never finished was I actually tried to do a shot for shot recreation of Signs, M. Night Shyamalan's film that obviously inspired me to want to make movies. Of course, I tried a few scenes, and my friends and I, being 14 years old with a camcorder that cost $150 or
Yeah. For a second, I thought it was gonna be like these Sony Handycams. This camera has not worked in a while. To be fair. Yeah, this camera has not worked. I've tried charging the battery to get it to work again. Also, there's a problem with the zoom function here because like I remember turning it on one time and then I didn't touch it, but it automatically went from wide. It went from wide to telephoto like that.
whatever from a home shopping network, realized pretty quickly that it's impossible. So Phenomenon Field was my next attempt, and we actually finished it. The plot of Phenomenon Field is that there is a magical baseball diamond. And if you step foot on this baseball diamond and play baseball, no matter what your skill level is, you will be just as good as the greatest Major League Baseball players of our time. But you have to be playing on this magical field. And it doesn't work for everybody. Some characters in the film are not able to achieve the abilities the field gives to other people. There's a scene where this neighborhood kid wants to play with us, and he's amazed that we're all so great at baseball because he can't figure it out. The eventual reveal is that the
Sorry, I just hate it when this is what happens every time I record off of OBS. One day I will have a PC just for myself, and it'll be easier for me to record. I'll just have an office to record everything in.
field only gives abilities to those who are pure of heart. So I had to have my one neighborhood friend be like the kid who didn't have a pure heart in this movie, and I had to explain it to him like it's not going to work for you because you're a terrible person. And he was like, "What do you mean I'm a terrible person?" And he's like, I don't know. You're just not a good person."
Yep, the Jehovah's Witness print. All right, I was not like evangelists. Even though there's a meme where I saw is like evangelists are always trying to get you to do these one things. Good thing. I'm an evangelist, but I hate televangelism. I just feel like televangelists all they care about is stealing your money, and then they say they preach the word of God. 1 month later, they're caught by the paparazzi with a prostitute. Yeah, men of God indeed. Here's the thing. I mean, I know nobody's perfect, but like televangelists are the worst. What else? Yeah. Okay, here's something. I've had multiple friends who were either atheists, but in high school, most of my friends were Catholic. I'm not mistaken. Some people were mostly Catholic, so yeah, comes to show you. Yeah, unlike Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm not shielded mostly from everything. You know, uh, I'm not trying to say that my life is was better than Chris's. No way I'm mentioning that. But I'm just saying it's like it kind of hearing this, I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. Probably, yeah. Ultimately, I asked my uncle this question because I was afraid to ask my mom. But my uncle said, well, Jehovah's Witnesses consider themselves more superior than other religious denominations. Which I often. Here's the thing. No, I'm not gonna say it. I don't want to get too much controversy. All right, let's just go.
And the field won't work for you. Making this movie was difficult. First off, the movie's, of course, really technically awful in just about every way. I mean, we're not actors. We're all playing ourselves. We're all just playing versions of ourselves with our real names. It was mostly just me setting up the camera on a tripod to an angle that I thought wasn't terrible, and then people just kind of stand in front of the camera and talk. There's nobody moving it, there's nobody operating it. There's not a lot of movement to the movie. As far as like visual effects go, one of the things that I discovered in the film was that if you filmed something on a tripod and then had somebody walk into the frame, and then if I dissolved those two shots together, I could make that field of dreams shot where somebody looks like they're just fading into the shot. And we did that a few times because another one of the field's abilities is that it's able to bring back great baseball players of the past. I wonder where I got that idea from. And so my dad plays Babe Ruth in the film, which, I'd actually have no idea how I got him to do it, but he did it. So there's that at least. Since I was a Jehovah's Witness at the time, to plan this movie after the Kingdom Hall, the church, my friends and I would kind of get together probably in the coat room or outside the Kingdom Hall or in the back and just talk about the scene that we were going to do the next day. And it would mostly be me saying, you have to wear this jacket because you wore that jacket in the last scene because it was cold that day. And that's why you put on a jacket, even though it's not in the script as a jacket. So make sure you bring that fucking jacket. Of course, I didn't say fucking. And it was just
Okay, I said shit several times. I'll be fair. Yeah. Okay, I gotta stop. I'm sorry. Holy shit, I am comparing myself to Chris. I am a horrible person. Hey, I could be worse.
that over and over again for an entire summer. And we somehow got the movie made. It's also the first time I ever explored a complex set of rules for a story. In the film, our characters realize that you can only play on the field 5 times. What happens after the fifth time, you might ask? maybe we lose all of our abilities and we just go back to regular baseball players. No, you fucking die. That's right. If you play on Phenomenon Field more than 5 times, it will kill you. Stakes. I understood stakes. So we have this really emotional scene where I figure that out, and my friend is going to play baseball on this field for the fifth time, and I actually had to like have a scene where my guy counts how many times they've played on the field, and I like have him just have this whole moment where they count out how many times they've all played, and you realize that one of our friends was going there and it's his fifth time. So it's like a race against time to get to the field before he throws this ball in the air and hits it. And of course he does. And he actually fucking dies. Like I killed my friend in the movie. I don't know what I was thinking, but it's
Oh,
quite.
damn. I swear, it's just I got hit with ads again. Frickin' YouTube. Alright, I'm back.
Ball in the air and hits it. And of course he does. And he actually fucking dies. Like I killed my friend in the movie. I don't know what I was thinking, but it's quite entertaining all these years later. Without a doubt, the biggest challenge of making an amateur feature when you're 15 years old, besides the obvious things of like you're still in school, some of your friends who are a couple years older than you in the movie have a job, and so they have to balance that, and they're still in school, not having any money. We also only had one baseball, and so sometimes we had to get it to land in just the right spot, which obviously was very difficult. We were constantly hitting this damn thing and then having to go run and get it wherever it was and reset to do another shot. That made the entire process insanely long, and I remember while I was doing it, I realized why more than likely professional sports films have a bounteous amount of things like baseballs, because that would really shorten things. Props, costumes, you're filming in a public place. We would go to the field quite often, and there would be people already playing a baseball game there, and you just kind of have to wait for them to fucking leave. Or people would start to gawk at you and sit in the bleachers and ask you what you're doing, and you're trying to get a goddamn shot. All of that happens, and you're only 15 years old, and you're not really thinking about the fact that the story doesn't make sense, that there's a field in the middle of this park where apparently anybody can just walk onto it, and if you play more than 5 times and you have a pure heart, you'll just fucking die. Like, you'd think a lot of people would be dying on this magical field, but at the same time, the story kind of has like this hidden get out of jail free card where you can only play on it if you're pure of heart, and for everyone else it just feels like a normal baseball field. So apparently us Jehovah's Witness kids were the only pure of heart people, which actually makes sense that I would have thought that when I was 15, being raised a Jehovah's Witness.
I'll be honest, no one is pure of heart. Because I've seen many people who call themselves devout Christians and they've done some things that are pretty unchristian. I've heard one time, actually, I don't really feel like talking about it, but I did hear one time something happened at a church. um, I just heard it was a random tale. I think it was from Renegade Media Group that I heard it. Where there was a homeless man sitting on the steps of a church, and a man, and then everyone who was going inside of the church because there was going to be another reverend there, another pastor, were and they were just kind of get lost, homeless guy. And after that, everyone went there, and then weirdly enough, the hobo goes into the service, and everyone's like looking at him, looking at the hobo, and the hobo reaches to where the pastor is, like right at the, I forget what it's called, pedestal. Pedestal. I really don't. I never really asked. I just that's all I know. And then the hobo takes off, and turns out it was actually the Reverend in disguise, disguised as a homeless man, and he just looked at the church in utter disgust. Says a lot.
You're kind of told that everyone else is worldly and you're better than them and you have a hope that they don't have and you're supposed to feel sorry for them. And so like it makes sense that a 15-year-old indoctrinated Jehovah's Witness would make a movie where only their select group of friends was able to experience some kind of magical thing where everyone else didn't know what it was. But I can still remember the first times actually showing the movie to people, and I remember thinking, wow, there's some really boring parts. Like, because you can feel that when you first show it to an audience of any kind. You can feel where the boring parts are because you can stare at something on the computer screen for a really long time and you can kind of convince yourself that something is working when you're alone. And then when you get 5 people or 10 people in a room and you're watching them watch it, you can feel when it drags. And even as a 15-year-old, I felt when it dragged. Like there were things I was proud of. I mean, I didn't have the concept of high definition or anything like that in my head. So the fact that we even had a movie that was shot on tape, it was the best it was going to look for us at that time with what we had at our disposal. So at least that felt cool to me. It had actual opening titles in it because I had figured out what iMovie was, and the movie was actually edited together. It wasn't like we were holding up index cards and, like cutting in camera. So at least that felt like I could present it to my family that had no idea what I was doing running out with a camera every day. And at the very least, they could see that I had figured that out. So there was some confidence built in that, and I kind of learned a lot as I went forward making the Indiana Jones movies and stuff afterwards. And I especially learned about what's stupid in the story, what not to do in the future, how to move past certain ideas that just don't work, and to think really heavily about plot holes and try to get those out of your story. And it was a great learning experience. I mean, I look back on the movie now and I just kind of smile because it's horrendously bad, but I mean, I was a 15-year-old. I'm not going to like sit here and make fun of myself because most 15-year-olds don't have an amateur feature made. But I did, and so I feel good about that. Even though it's terrible, I learned a lot while doing it, and I applied that to more movies in the future. So making the film was a life-altering experience because I learned so much while doing it, but I also was able to kind of prove to myself that I could do it. As soon as I finished my first amateur feature, I realized, okay, I did that. That was hard, but I want to do it again. It didn't scratch the itch. It wasn't just a phase that went away. I wanted to keep going. Even though it was incredibly difficult and I had to convince everyone, because I didn't have a license at the time either. So I had to convince my parents to drive me back and forth to locations, which they did, which I appreciate to this day. And all of those things still made me want to do it again. So that to me was like, okay, yes, not only do I know what I want to do, but I just did a very low rent amateur version of it, and I still want to do it even though it felt impossibly hard. And that to me was confirmation that I had truly discovered my passion. So yeah, Phenomenon Field is a terrible movie that a 15-year-old made in Ohio, but I'm glad I made it, and it taught me quite a bit about filmmaking. So I'm curious for any of the other aspiring filmmakers who watch me, did you guys ever try to make an amateur feature when you were younger? Did you succeed? How far did you get? And I just want to hear those stories. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching, but I also want to give a big thank you to the sponsor for this video, Squarespace. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business. Squarespace has member areas. You can connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated members-only content, manage your members, send email communications, and leverage audience insights, all in one easy-to-use platform. It also has portfolios and galleries. You can present your work using Squarespace's professional portfolio designs, display projects in customizable galleries, and add password-protected pages to share private work with clients. And there's video blocks. You can present your videos from YouTube, Vimeo, and Animoto on your Squarespace site. You can add an image overlay to your video to improve your website's load speed by waiting to embed video players until playback starts. Or domains. You can buy a domain from Squarespace, and it's simple because there are no hidden fees or price hikes. Each domain comes with an ad-free parking page and free WHOIS privacy on eligible domains. Squarespace sells over 200 top level domains so you can find the perfect name for your website. Choose a URL that ends in .com, .net, .org, or even get more specific with one like .art. So check out squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, please go to squarespace.com/Chris Stuckman for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video, and thank you guys so much as always for watching. Look forward to more videos very soon, and if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.
Yeah, what's the whole last maybe I will check those videos out. I just haven't. Hold on. Gotta pause the live recording here. Or just mute. Alright, I'm back. Yeah. Proof that I still woke up. It is like 10:33 a.m. on a Sunday, where most people at this point are sleeping. Rightfully so. I mean, who the hell even wakes up this early? Yeah. Okay, this is me. This Casey Ryland guy. I cannot wait to see written and directed by Chris Stuckman in the end credits, and I'd be like, "Hey, I grew up watching this dude's movie reviews." Yeah, I would be like that. I'm leaving a like on this and be like, I'm just gonna reply something simple. Just 2 words. Same here. Probably hasn't showed up yet, but yeah. Hey, Chris, if you're looking for advice from. Oh, yeah, Masterclass. I've been thinking about getting Masterclass. Yeah. The problem is it costs too much money. I'll probably get Masterclass. Who knows? Um. Oh, god damn it. I'm sorry. I'm hearing a loud car pass by, and I have to mute. Alright, it's gone. Yeah. And yeah, still, I just saw that my hair was messed up. I don't really look myself in the mirror that often. You think I have it hard. I hate recording videos sometimes. I like to record it, but at the same time, I'm like, you know, I hope. All right, here's something. I have a farmhouse. I don't really like to show it as much. I usually, if I do go there, I just like to take pictures of like trees or anything. Kind of like if I was Terrence Malick. Even though I'm not a huge Terrence Malick fan, it's like, yeah, I guess I could just take pictures of trees, be like Malick for a while. I just take these pictures of trees on a viewfinders that I download on my phone, like a Magic Airy viewfinder, Red viewfinder, Film viewfinder, Canon viewfinder. You get the gist of it all. I'm starting to think that once my farmhouse is finished, if I get internet there, if I have some if we get to install an internet plan at my farmhouse, that probably I'll also have like a PC for me. Like I'll just have my PC like, in an office. It'll be easier for me to record. And plus, because I'm at a farmhouse, like Serenity. Mostly Serenity. Because it's just, trees and you have cows everywhere. Yeah, I have cows. I even have a calf or something. I don't know. Like cows or anything like that. Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah. Masterclass. I am thinking about Masterclass. I just don't have the money. Besides, I don't know how much is too much. But I mean, like, look, they have Cameron, Scorsese, Lynch, even Spike Lee and Ron Howard, and Aaron Sorkin. I really want to do an Aaron Sorkin class. I mean, hey, I got movies anywhere, so why not masterclass? Although, to be fair, I only own a few movies on Movies Anywhere, and that's just because if I had the codes, maybe I will watch the movies on Movies Anywhere. See how tired I am? I still woke up. I only had like one. I only drank one cup of coffee. All right. I gotta leave a like on this because, hey, I love Chris Stuckmann. And he deserves all the love and support. He deserves He deserves a lot more subscribers. Look at this, 1.94 million subscribers. That is criminal. It should be like at least five. Like I know that they're like, because here's the thing. I know people really prefer the critics who talk more about big films. I love to watch bigger movies out of a want and desire to. It depends if I want to see it. If I have a desire to see it, and the third reason is if I have access to it. I've been trying to watch Josie the Tiger and the Fish, but it is hard to find. Yeah, as if the world is like against you. If you thought the world was against you even more, you're right, but goes further down the damn rabbit hole. Ugh. Yeah, I have refluxes. I'm sorry. It's called an acid reflux, I think. If you have these things, I feel sorry for you. Then again, I used to have an appendix. I removed it. I still have the scar here, but I'm not showing it to you because kids watch this. Okay, here's what I was saying. I know that Chris isn't like the critics, like Cinema Sins or Doug Walker, even, where it's like they talk a lot about shit about movies. That's mostly how the because the sad thing is you can only get popular on YouTube if you talk shit about movies. That is literally the only reason you get popular. And I get it. There are some very horrible movies. I have done videos where I've ranted on movies before, but mostly as a conflicted area. Uh, but there are times where it can get degrading. Because here's the thing with Cinema Sins, and I like the guys at Cinema Sins. I think they're probably nice guys in real life. I see a few of their videos from every once in a while. Um, but I like their earlier work. I will say. I feel like originally they were just trying to be funny, but over the years as they've grown popular, they took it more seriously. And okay, there can be times where there can be legitimate sins where I'm like, there's a problem with this. But then at the same time, it feels like they're nitpicking. And sometimes it feels like there will be, if they do a Marvel movie and it'll be like, Hawkeye is a useless character because Jeremy doesn't like Hawkeye. I'm like, I like Hawkeye. I don't care. It's obvious they're just nitpicking to pad out the runtime. And once again, I am not trying to bag Cinema Sins. I love the guys down at Cinema Sins, but that's why I probably prefer Cinema Wins because a little better because it is more positive in a way. It is so refreshing to see positivity sometimes. And all right, Cinema Wins and Chris Stuckman for me are probably my favorite YouTube channels, hands down, because they're not like other people. Because Cinema Wins is only focusing on what works, the wins of the movie, what worked in the movie, regardless of the film being terrible or not. And Chris Stuckman is just being very different now, and I like that he's going a different direction. So if people just don't haven't and the fact that Chris isn't over 2 million now, I'm just saying is a sin, like a legit sin against humanity. Comes to show you why I probably have no faith in anyone anymore. That is why I probably have a few friends. It's like, all right, so I've been at this for like 35 minutes. I gotta end the video here. This was Chris Stuckmann's filmmaking journey. The making of, well, his first feature, not mine. I do want to dabble in filmmaking, but I don't have the resources yet. That's why I've always been scared to pursue filmmaking because I want to make movies. I want to make stuff like I've legit had interesting ideas. Hell, there are times where I want to make music videos just for the hell of it, just like based on these popular songs. So, say I want to make a different music video of Motley Crue's "Kickstart My Heart," and I just want to use I want to go full Tony Scott. I want to use zooms, like zoom lenses, and like crank up the heightened reality colors and stop the frame rate. Slow down the frames because I think that style is cool, but I don't have the resources yet, and that's the problem. And Chris has mentioned that it's very hard because, I mean, obviously I've not made any amateur films. Yeah, but for Chris, he's like, yeah, this stuff is hard. And I'm glad Chris Stuckmann is someone who has had experience with this and understands it completely. And I'm glad that Chris is doing these. I'll always be excited for any new video Chris does. So I'll leave a link to his original video down below. Link to Chris Stuckmann. Go subscribe, or else I'll send the NSA after you. Even though yeah, I'll send the government after you. I'll send the government to freeze all your assets if you don't subscribe to Chris Stuckmann. I'm kidding, I wouldn't really send that, but subscribe to him now. Yeah, I'm gonna be like the USA wants you poster. All that's missing is me dressed up as Uncle Sam. Okay, I gotta end the video here. I'll leave links to everything. Video, Chris Stuckmann's channel, my Instagram. Godspeed, everyone. Have a great morning.